It looks like Bitcoin has just formed a death cross on the charts. Let's kind of do a quick catch up on what's been happening. It has been a bear market and the NFT market is pretty dead at this point. Let's start with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has just formed a death cross on the charts. What is a death cross? Well, according to Investopedia, death cross is a market chart pattern reflecting recent price weaknesses. It refers to the drop of a short-term moving average, like an EMA line, which is the average of recent closing prices for a stock, or in this case, Bitcoin, that goes below a longer-term moving average. The most closely watched stock market moving averages are the 50-day and the 200-day. Something to note though is that despite its ominous name, the death cross is not a market milestone worth dreading. Market history suggests it tends to precede a near-term rebound with above average returns. This is the 20 and 50, 100 and 200. I like to look at the 20 crossing the 200, which is what happened back in August 19th. But if you go off of the 50 EMA line, that would be the orange one right here, we are just about to cross it. May happen the next few days, the next week or so, but the significance of this is usually that we're gonna head towards a bottom. If we wanna compare it, let's just go back and see when the last death cross happened. And the last death cross happened. Okay, so the 20 crossed the 200 EMA around the end of December 2021. And then shortly after, just maybe about a month, not even a month after, a few weeks after, the 50 EMA line fell below the 200, which is the dark blue, around January 9th, 2022. Now, if we go back, I also want to point out that it coincides, this death cross, coincides with 3 consecutive bearish divergences. So here we have a higher high and a lower high. A higher high, lower high from this one, which this was higher. Another higher high, lower high on the MACD, and then the final bearish divergence was right here around July, so just a few months ago. And so we're kind of seeing that play out. Volume has been about the same levels, if not decreasing just a little bit on average. So I tend to agree more with Benjamin Cohen when he says that both bears and bulls are going to get wrecked this year, because for the majority of this year we've kind of been in this up phase, this upward trend since, January this year. And now that we are getting into this death cross territory, I think we're going to start seeing some lower lows and lower highs as well. Right now we're in the pre-halving year, and so we're going to see probably another low before we can start off on another fresh bull run. Yeah, I personally don't think it'll reverse anytime soon. In fact, we'll probably see lower lows and lower highs, at least until the rest of the year. So we have a death cross on the 20, maybe on the 50 as well, but the reverse of a death cross is called a golden cross. And the last time the golden cross happened was in February of this year. So let's look at golden cross real quick. This is basically the opposite. You have relatively short-term moving averages crossing above a long-term average. So that's like your 50 or your 20 going above the 200. We had a golden cross with the 20 right here, where the 20 went above the 200, and then shortly after, the golden cross happened. And so the golden cross did have an upward trend after for about, 7 months or so, about half a year. The last time that we had a golden cross was around August, around August of 2021. And that was an upward trend, but that only lasted for a couple of months really before we had the death cross, which got rejected for the most part. There was another little spike, but we didn't quite have a golden cross right here If you can see, the red and the orange never really fully go above the blue. But once we had this death cross right here on the 20 and the 50, we've been in a downward trend. Obviously that's not straight down, but it's still lower lows for the most part and lower highs, down pretty much all the way until we had some reversals at the beginning of this year. And it coincided too with the stock market dipping as well. Just as this past year's upward trend has also coincided with the stock market's upward trend. Everything that I'm reading about the stock market indicates that it's very overinflated and we're due for another correction soon. Let's zoom out a bit and look at some contextual macro news, right? Like in terms of the whole crypto space, we're still getting positive news. You know, we had PayPal's ex-president advocating transforming Bitcoin into a global payment network. This is a bullish case, right? But we also do have some bearish news coming up, which is the possible FTX liquidations. This may already be priced in though, since the news came out yesterday. FTX has asked the court for the right to liquidate billions of dollars in crypto with a $100 million weekly cap and the possibility of increasing that limit to $200 million. As of the end of last month, FTX had a total of $3.4 billion in digital assets, including $560 million in Bitcoin and $192 million in Ether. After 8 consecutive weeks of higher highs, the DXY is now flashing signs of a short-term pullback. So this also supports the short-term bear case of 3 consecutive bearish divergences, a 20 EMA death cross with a potential 50 EMA death cross soon. Plus pre-halving year, September, October generally being lower months, being red months. Stock market also taking a corrective dip, which has been recently coinciding with Bitcoin and crypto in general. And now FTX potentially getting the approval to liquidate their $3.4 billion in crypto assets. So I think we're going to see a lot of price action with the market digesting this news and just reacting to it. Whatever few participants and bots are left in the market at this point. And FTX, which filed for bankruptcy in November of last year, they're likely to receive court approval on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, to go ahead and liquidate their estimated $3.4 billion in crypto assets, more so than Bitcoin and Ethereum. So yeah, that's the update for this week. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.